Hands shaking, Emily tugged the curtain aside. Lorraine's eyes widened, her lips parting in awe. "Oh, Emily," she whispered. "You look perfect." Before Emily could respond, the sales assistant appeared behind Lorraine, carrying a pair of shoes. Her professional smile faltered for half a beat as her gaze swept over Emily, then brightened. "That dress was made for you," she said sincerely. "And I think these will complete the look." She handed over cream-colored sandals with a modest heel. Emily's heart hammered as she stepped into them. Standing taller, looking in the mirror, she barely recognized herself. The sales assistant tilted her head, clearly charmed. "You'll break hearts in that outfit." "First date, maybe?" Emily's cheeks flamed. She stammered, "Oh, I don't." Lorraine squeezed her shoulder. "Not yet," she teased. The assistant chuckled and moved on, leaving Emily reeling. She believed it. She really believed Emily was just another girl. As they paid for the dress, Emily allowed herself a small smile. Maybe her mother was right. Maybe she could pull this off. But just as they were leaving, the boutique door swung open. And in walked Jason Miller. Emily's stomach dropped. Jason was from her school. Captain of the basketball team. Someone she had passed a ball to hundreds of times. If anyone would see through the illusion, it was him. Jason brushed past them, barely glancing up, until his eyes landed on Emily. And lingered. "Hey," he said with a grin, giving her an appreciative once-over. "Haven't seen you around before." Emily's heart pounded so hard she thought it might break through her ribs. Jason didn't recognize her. He didn't see Tyler. He saw Emily. Emily froze, her mind racing. Jason Miller, basketball captain, classmate, the kind of boy who could make half the girls at Maplewood High blush with a single smirk, was standing right there. And he was looking at her. Not at Tyler. At Emily. Lorraine, ever quick, jumped in smoothly. "This is my niece, Emily. She's visiting from out of town." Jason's grin widened. "Ah, that explains it. No wonder I haven't seen you before." His eyes flicked back to Emily, bold and curious. "So, Emily, you like Maplewood so far?" Emily's knees threatened to give out. Every word felt like stepping through a minefield. She forced a tiny smile. "It's nice." Her voice wavered, higher and softer than she'd ever managed before. Jason chuckled. "Nice, huh? You'll have to let me show you the fun side sometime." Emily's pulse hammered. Did he just ask her out? Lorraine tightened her grip on Emily's hand. "We really must be going, Jason. But thank you for the offer." She steered Emily toward the door before Jason could press further. As soon as they were outside, Emily whispered harshly, "Mom." "He almost figured it out." Lorraine arched an eyebrow. "Sweetheart, he didn't figure out anything. He flirted with you. That's a compliment, not a threat." Emily's cheeks burned. "But if he ever finds out?" "Then he finds out," Lorraine said simply. "But for now? You're Emily." And Jason saw exactly that. Emily wanted to protest, but the truth was undeniable. Jason hadn't seen through her. He had only seen a girl. And some small, reckless part of her wasn't horrified by that. It was thrilling. They stopped at a cafe on the corner before heading home. Lorraine ordered coffee, and Emily fidgeted at their table, replaying Jason's grin in her mind. When the server arrived, a young man about her age, he didn't blink twice. He placed a cappuccino in front of Lorraine, then turned to Emily with a crooked smile. "And a vanilla latte for you. Careful, it's hot." The way he said you made Emily's chest tighten. He was addressing her like a girl. Not a trace of suspicion. Her hands trembled as she lifted the cup. Lipstick left a faint mark on the rim, and for the first time, she didn't immediately wipe it away. She was beginning to see what her mother meant. People only saw what they expected. And when they looked at Emily, they expected a girl. On the drive home, Lorraine glanced at her. "You did wonderfully today." "But, Emily," her voice grew softer. "You need to be careful. The more convincing you are, the more people will treat you like a girl. And sometimes, they won't be gentle about it." Emily frowned. "What do you mean?" Lorraine didn't answer right away. She kept her eyes on the road, her expression unreadable. Finally, she said, "Let's just say I saw Jason's look. Boys his age, they don't need much encouragement." Emily's stomach twisted. She hadn't thought of that. But she also couldn't shake the memory of his grin, the heat that had spread through her when he called her Emily. When they got home, Lorraine led her upstairs. On the bed was a small wrapped box. "What's this?" Emily asked. "Consider it a test," Lorraine said. "Go on, open it." Inside was a delicate necklace, a silver chain with a tiny heart pendant. Emily lifted it, her fingers trembling. "It's beautiful." Lorraine fastened it around her neck, then met her eyes in the mirror. "Tomorrow, Emily, we're going further. Out in public again. But not just shopping this time." Emily blinked. "What do you mean?" Lorraine smiled faintly. "You're going to meet someone." Emily's heart stopped. "Who?" she whispered. Lorraine's smile widened just enough to send a shiver down her spine. "You'll see." Emily barely slept that night. She lay awake, fingering the silver heart pendant at her neck, her mind replaying every moment of the day, Mrs. Donnelly's harmless small talk, the sales assistant's approving smile, Jason's grin that lingered far too long. Each memory fed the same impossible truth: no one had seen Tyler. They had only seen Emily. But Lorraine's words echoed most of all: "Tomorrow, you're going to meet someone." By morning, Emily's nerves had doubled. She padded into the kitchen, still wearing the nightgown her mother had slipped into her room the evening before. Lorraine was already there, sipping coffee, looking far too calm. "You didn't sleep," she said knowingly. Emily sat down, clutching her mug of cocoa. "Who am I meeting?" Lorraine's smile was sly. "An old family friend. Someone who won't suspect a thing." "That's not an answer," Emily muttered. Lorraine only raised an eyebrow. "Trust me, sweetheart. If you can convince her, you can convince anyone." Emily's stomach nodded. Her. An hour later, Lorraine had Emily seated at the vanity again. Brushes swept across her cheeks, mascara curled her lashes, soft pink gloss coated her lips. Her hair was pulled back into a half-up style with a ribbon. When Emily looked in the mirror, she hardly recognized the shy boy who once lived there. The girl staring back looked sweet, polished, almost natural. Lorraine clasped her shoulders. "Ready?" "No," Emily whispered. But she stood anyway. The doorbell rang just after noon. Emily froze halfway down the stairs, her heels clicking nervously on the wood. "Come on, dear," Lorraine called. "Don't be shy." When they reached the living room, Emily's heart nearly stopped. Sitting on the couch was Mrs. Evelyn Carter, her mother's oldest friend. A sharp, observant woman who had known Tyler since he was in diapers. If anyone could see through this, it was her. Evelyn looked up, her eyes landing on Emily. For a tense, terrifying moment, Emily was sure the illusion would shatter. But then Evelyn's face softened into a smile. "Lorraine," she said warmly, "you never told me you had a niece." "My, isn't she lovely?" Emily nearly collapsed with relief. Lorraine beamed. "This is Emily. She's visiting for the week." Evelyn's eyes twinkled with amusement. "Well, Emily, you certainly take after your aunt." The same smile, the same eyes. "You must have all the boys chasing after you already." Emily's cheeks flamed. She muttered something vague, her voice catching. Evelyn chuckled. "Shy. I like that. The quiet ones always surprise you. For the next hour, Emily sat stiffly on the couch, answering questions as politely as she could. Every time Evelyn laughed or nodded approvingly, Emily's confidence grew. But just as she began to relax, Evelyn leaned in close. Her voice dropped, meant only for Emily. You play the part very well, dear. Emily's blood ran cold. Evelyn's smile never wavered. Don't look so frightened. I won't tell. But let me give you a word of advice. Her eyes flicked toward Lorraine. Be careful what dares you agree to. Sometimes they stop being games. Emily swallowed hard, her heart hammering. Evelyn knew. She hadn't been fooled after all. And yet, she was protecting her. When Evelyn finally left, Lorraine was practically glowing. You see? Even Evelyn adored you. I told you no one would ever suspect. Emily bit her lip, the secret still buzzing in her chest. Should she tell her mother Evelyn knew? Or let her believe the fantasy? Before she could decide, Lorraine's phone buzzed. She glanced at the screen, then smiled. Well, she said, looking far too pleased, it seems Jason wants to come by later. He asked if my niece would be around. Emily's breath caught. Jason. Coming here. To see her. Emily's pulse quickened the moment Lorraine mentioned Jason's name. Mom, no. He can't come here. What if he recognizes me? Lorraine tilted her head, calm as ever. Sweetheart, he's already seen you once. And what did he do? Emily swallowed. He flirted. Exactly. Lorraine's smile curved with mischief. Trust me. Jason doesn't see Tyler. He sees Emily. And if you want to prove to yourself this isn't just luck, tonight is your chance. Emily's knees felt weak, but before she could argue further, the doorbell rang. Lorraine swept toward the door, leaving Emily frozen in the hallway mirror. She caught a glimpse of herself, ribboned hair, soft makeup, the silver heart pendant glinting against her blouse, and barely recognized the nervous girl staring back. Then Lorraine opened the door, and Jason filled the frame. Hey, Mrs. Hastings, he said with an easy grin. Hope it's not a bad time. Thought maybe Emily could show me around town later. Emily's breath caught. Show him around? Her? Lorraine chuckled, her tone smooth as silk. Of course, Jason. Why don't you come in for a bit? Jason stepped inside, his eyes immediately locking onto Emily. And just like in the boutique, his grin widened. Hey there. Emily, right? Emily nodded quickly, praying her voice wouldn't betray her. Why yeah. That's me. Lorraine, ever the strategist, disappeared into the kitchen under the pretense of making tea, leaving Emily and Jason alone in the living room. Jason leaned casually against the arm of the couch, studying her. So, you're from out of town, huh? Funny. Maplewood doesn't usually hide girls like you. Emily's cheeks burned. She tucked a strand of hair behind her ear, forcing a shy smile. It's just a short visit. Jason tilted his head, clearly enjoying her nervousness. Well, I'm glad I caught you before you leave. You've got this, look. Different. Not like the other girls here. Emily's heart pounded so loudly she worried he could hear it. The way he was looking at her, like she really was Emily, sent a dizzying rush through her. But then Jason leaned closer, his voice dropping. Mind if I ask something kinda bold? Emily froze. What? Jason smirked. You single? Before Emily could stammer a reply, Lorraine reappeared with a tray. Tea's ready, she announced cheerfully, setting it down between them. Her timing was deliberate, saving Emily from answering. Jason leaned back, laughing. Guess that's my cue to behave. But the look he shot Emily across the teacups was anything but innocent. Lorraine caught it. And though she smiled politely, her eyes flicked to Emily with a warning only she would understand, careful. They chatted lightly for a while about school events, sports, and Maplewood gossip. Emily said as little as possible, letting Lorraine carry the conversation. But Jason kept sneaking glances, his grin never fading. Finally, as he stood to leave, he turned to Emily. "Hey, there's a carnival on Friday night. Ferris wheel, games, the whole deal. You should come. I'll even win you a prize." Emily's breath caught. He was asking her out. Lorraine clasped her hands together with feigned delight. "Oh, doesn't that sound fun, Emily?" Emily's head spun. Maybe." Jason chuckled, clearly amused by her shyness. "Think about it." He shot her one last grin before stepping out the door. The moment it closed, Emily collapsed onto the couch, burying her face in her hands. "Mom, this is insane. He asked me out." Lorraine's voice was calm, but her eyes glimmered with something Emily couldn't quite read. "Of course he did. You're beautiful. And now you've got a choice, sweetheart." Emily looked up, panicked. "Choice?